Hello everyone and welcome back to the 12 Cylon Challenge. This week I originally planned to tell you about a new direction I was hoping to take with this robot, and a new more elegant way that I'd devised to control it over long distances, and interesting discussions I'd had with my friends about this, and just my plans for the future. However, as I'm sure you've already guessed from the title of this video, I actually have a much more interesting story to tell you about how I inadvertently turned one of my components into a firecracker. Of course, if there's time at the end of the video, I'll tell you about all those other things, but it's hard to tell while I'm still recording it. Hey guys, Future Mustafa here. Video's too long as it is, we'll talk about those things next week. Carry on. So our story begins Sunday evening. By this time most weeks, I've done all the work that needs to be done on the Cylon, and I'm ready to start making the video. But this had been a particularly busy week, so I hadn't gotten to do any work yet. Being the diligent YouTuber that I am, I knew I had to post a video, regardless. But I couldn't post one without having anything to show. I figured if I used my time wisely and dialed up the intensity, I could crank out a few good hours of work and have something of substance before my usual recording time.
You can already tell this is gonna end badly.
The problem I was having last week is that when I connected the Pi to the powered USB hub, it was drawing power but it wasn't sensing the internet. I did some Googling and troubleshooting, and it turns out that you need a cable to communicate between the two. So right now the Pi was drawing power but it wasn't getting any data. This would explain why the Wi-Fi dongle wasn't working, but it wouldn't explain why the Ethernet wasn't working. In any case, I was in a rush, and I just needed one of them to work. The problem is, I was already using the communication cable to draw power, so once I removed it, I had no more power. Luckily, the hub has another port that fits one of these, so I just needed to find this. I was sure I had something lying around that would fit, so I went digging through my stuff. Now I really didn't have that much time to waste. I needed to get started on that video, and if I could just get this thing working, it would be really cool. So I grabbed the first thing that looked like it would fit in that port.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be good. Should I get my popcorn?
As it turns out, the first thing that came across my path was my laptop power supply.
I couldn't find any popcorn, so I got some nuts.
So to give you some background information, the adapter I was using before was delivering about 5 volts at a current of half an amp. The one I was using now was delivering 19 volts at a current of 2.37 amps. Now, I'm no electrical engineer.
Yeah, we gathered.
And I don't know if it's current or voltage that can blow out your components. But in any case, both were way too high, and it only took a matter of seconds before I heard a loud pop coming from the outlet. I disconnected the hub as fast as I could and carried it out of the room as smoke billowed from the port. If you're wondering what the hub looks like now, I've taken the liberty of recording a video of that for you. So this is what the remnants of the hub look like. You'll notice here this is where power was coming in. These two bits are where the capacitors used to be, which blew up. If you look over here in this corner, we have the remaining components. This used to be a capacitor. It is now hollow on the inside. These are some bits of metal that were inside it, and paper. If I had to guess how this thing worked, it looks like the paper was wrapped with metal, so I'm guessing once the metal heated up too much, the paper's sort of like the stuff you'll find in firecrackers, I guess, so it blows up. Yeah, that's my best guess. Yeah, rest in peace, powered hub. Minor addendum, I meant to say Christmas cracker, not firecracker. They have this little piece of paper with a chemical on it that when you pull and apply friction, it applies heat, and the chemical causes it to ignite and pop. And I think these capacitors use a similar principle. I've linked to a video about how Christmas crackers work in the description, if you're curious about that. It's pretty interesting. The strangest part of this story is that when you connect the hub to an outlet properly, it still works, it still lights up, it still powers the Pi, but when you connect dongles to it, the Pi doesn't detect them, even with a communication cable. So it would seem as though the power lines are working fine, but the data lines are fried. Stranger still, the Wi-Fi dongle that was connected to the hub during the incident is in some weird quantum state of both fried and not fried. When I connect it to my laptop, it's not detected at all. When I connect it to the Pi, it's detected as a USB device, but there's no Wi-Fi interface. Basically, the Pi knows that it's there, but it's not connecting to the internet. I tried a different dongle and that one worked fine, so obviously something happened to this one during the incident. There's nothing wrong with the Pi itself because that was not connected at the time of the incident, and so it went away unscathed. So yeah, that's our story, kids. Now, what did we learn today? We learned that you should not rush things. We learned that you should read all your electrical components before connecting them up to actual electricity. We learned that fire is bad. And the price of those lessons was only one powered hub, valued at 25 Australian dollars.
Oh, that's alright, Mustafa. We still love you, even if you don't understand electricity. Yeah.
And you know what's the most annoying part of the story? Is that I actually had an adapter that would have worked without exploding anything. I would have just had to go upstairs to get it. The good news is, though, that a new hub will only take about a day to arrive, and $25 isn't that much anyways, especially considering I'm going to be reusing it for future projects. I've also got some cool ideas for controlling this thing more effectively, the ones I briefly mentioned earlier, but I'll let those be a surprise for next week. Hopefully by then I'll have something more substantial to show you, and hopefully no fire will be involved in the process. Until then, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you